So, all right. So,
This is our weekly Duck Talk.
yes, we didn't do last week. We had a little, we had some technical difficulties. So, anyway, let's talk about Oregon and Tennessee. I'd like to start off by saying that Tennessee, you guys do not know what's coming at you. Oregon has probably the fastest paced offense in the nation, and you've never played against an offense like Oregon's. The SEC always boasts that it has very good defense. However, no defense of Tennessee has ever gone against an offense like Oregon's, and I believe that we are going to definitely have much more speed than their defense, and we're going to surprise them with our running game.
Yeah, most people really don't know about our defense. Our defense is returning like 8 of 11 starters that we had last year. And those starters were injury-prone people like T.J. Ward and Walter Thurmond and Will Tuakuwafu. We are returning basically a full starting defense and a full starting offense. And not counting Masoli, we have our whole offense returning, except for our tight end, Ed Dixon. We average about 90 plays a game, which is fast-paced because most teams only get up into the 60s and sometimes the 70s, but
definitely not the 90s on a daily basis.
Yeah.
The thing about Oregon is we know how to put a lot of points on the board, and we were up 35-0 in end of the first quarter against New Mexico. We had our second string before the half was even over. Oregon is definitely going to surprise Tennessee, and a lot of people from Tennessee believe that the humidity and the heat is going to affect this Ducks team. But I really don't think it's going to. The Mashofsky Center has a thing where they can make it humid and they can make it hot, so the Ducks are going to be used to that. We're used to hostile environments. Our stadium is just as loud as Neyland Stadium, if not louder, because it's scientifically designed to be loud. So we're used to noise. We're going to be used to the heat. And Tennessee, I just really don't feel is as good as people are saying they are. They don't really have any players that just stand out as the nation's top players.
Or any players.
Or anybody.
Good, for that matter. Tennessee has been subpar for the past couple of years. I mean, yeah, you guys got winning records. I mean, that's cool and all.
7-6.
Yeah, you're playing in the SEC. That's cool. But you're not as good as Florida. You're not as good as Ole Miss,
who got beat by
Jacksonville State. And then you also are not as good as LSU, Alabama, Auburn, I mean, South Carolina, Georgia. And yes, we're playing in Neyland Stadium, but you guys are not as loud as our 56,000. So, suck it.
Takes you guys to have twice as many fans as we do to get loud. If Neyland Stadium only had 50,000 people go to their stadium, it'd probably be extremely quiet. One thing you also got to think about, Tennessee fans, is that we didn't even have LaMichael James in our game against New Mexico, and we still put 72 points up there. There is no way your defense is going to stop LaMichael James and Kenyon Barner, and then Darren Thomas is going to open it up with a pass game. Jeff Mail, he's a great receiver. You'll know his name by the end of the game. You'll also probably know DJ Davis and Lavoisier Tuine. They're all very good receivers that really don't get as much attention as they should get, because I believe they are all very good receivers. And Darren Thomas is going to surprise you with his running and his passing, because one thing with Thomas is he didn't ever need to run the ball against New Mexico, but he can definitely cut up and run against defenses.
Yeah, because you guys don't have film on him running at all. He's the fastest quarterback in Oregon. He fits the exact mold of Dennis Dixon, but he's stronger and he is faster, if I believe.
He's definitely less injury prone.
Yeah, he's not as he's 6'3", 210, and he's not 6'4", 190. So he's definitely got some weight on him. He's been the backup for 2 years. He could have been a starter last year if he didn't have Masoli in front of him, and we weren't redshirting him, because as a freshman we had him playing against Boise State, and he almost brought us back to win against Boise State.
So real quick, let's pick the games. Florida State versus Oklahoma. I got to go with Florida State and Christian Ponder. He's going to get it done.
I think Oklahoma does it with their ground game and DeMarco Murray, and they're home, so that helps considerably. Haven't lost in 31 games.
Miami and Ohio State. I'd love to see Miami win this, but I think Terrell Pryor and the Ohio State Buckeyes get it done on the horseshoe.
Yep, I'm gonna have to go Ohio State.
Georgia, South Carolina. I think this is an up and down game. I could go with either, but I'm gonna have to go with South Carolina. Steve Spurrier, home game for South Carolina.
Yeah, it's a flip of the coin really, but I'm gonna go with Georgia. Their new freshman quarterback looks pretty fit for their offense.
And then we got, of course, Penn State, Alabama. Obviously, the main pick would be to go with Alabama. I'm gonna go with the upset. Penn State gets it done.
Yeah, I really just don't think Penn State is that good. I mean, they're at Alabama and they got Greg McElroy and that offense rolling, even though they don't have the Heisman runner coming back. But I think that Alabama just beats Penn State.
So last word in. I think Oregon's offense is going to be much too strong for the defense of Tennessee, and they're not going to be able to stop us on the scoreboard. I believe our defense will be much better than you believe it will be. I just believe that Oregon will definitely outplay you on both sides of the ball. And kick returns and kickoffs. I believe we have better special teams than you. We have probably the best kick returner in the nation, and our punt returner, who was our second string punt returner, ran two punt returns for touchdowns last year. So I sure hope that your team's been conditioning because Oregon is a fast team.
Yeah, Oregon's defense is one of the faster defenses in all the nation. We can rip you apart. So if you had to pick a score for this game, what would you predict?
I'm going to go 31-14 Oregon, possibly 38-14. I think Oregon really gets it done on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I was actually going to have to go 35-14. Actually.
There you have it. Ducks are going to get a win in Knoxville tomorrow. Go Ducks.